thought I would continue on the path of symbolism. It's been making my mind go crazy and in the good way. I think about symbols of unity and what they mean. And a lot of people look at this symbol and hold on one second, gotta turn the stove off. And there's the story, the chicken before the egg story. It's like, which one's first, chicken or the egg, right? Which one's more important? And then I think about the Catholic version here, and it's putting it puts both the divine masculine, which is the cross, and the divine feminine, which is Mother Mary, because the divine feminine knows that the fight that the divine masculine is doing is for the good, and knows that he may even die in the fight, but she lets him off to war. If she weren't able to let her child go, then she is actually not helping her child. And the divine masculine teaches its child that you only need to fight when the fight is worthy. Meaning, pick your battles. It's like a martial arts thing. It's the yin and the yang. It's balance. And that's, I think about like archetypal people of the past, and like the ultimate archetypal angel is Archangel Michael. And Rastafari has a big thing for Archangel Michael, as most people do, and there's not even a lot of it in the Bible, so it's really interesting how so many people have a connection to that. And it's because I believe that he's watching over everybody on the earth, whether they believe it or not. And Archangel Michael is an archetypal hero story, right? Like, and a lot of people would like think, the best, and it's a spiritual hero, right? Well, they say the best spiritual hero would be Buddha, right? Just sit and let things happen. That's like the spiritual warrior, right? Well, actually, I believe that it's a balance between the two spiritual warriors, the divine feminine and the divine masculine, right? And people have a problem with trucks in Alberta with the big balls hanging out the back. Well, like that is, yeah, I can understand it. Depends on their intent. But we have to understand, as this goes way, way back, is we know that there's a protection mechanism behind the phallic symbol. Like, for example, with a cactus, there's all these spines, right? That's a protector, right? These are a protector plant. And it's also a symbol of the phallic, right? And if you look at the cross, and this is a Catholic cross, and like I'm Christian, but I have my own subjective version of what Christianity means to me, and like I'll explain what it means to me. This sits right at my heart chakra, and this is pointing down towards my root chakra. And when you look at the shape of this, it represents the divine masculine, or hero's journey, and that's like the Christ story, right? But it also represents the phallic, because it represents, the penis and the testicles. And here, there's 23 beads, right? For me, what it means is, if I'm in my feminine and my heart chakra, that means I have 2 beads for every chakra, including my heart. And then if I'm in my divine masculine, then I have the divine masculine, and then 2 heart chakras on the way up, and that's because she represents dualism and he represents dualism. So that can be what I think about it. Everyone can think what they want about it, and it's an interesting thing is I don't wear it around with me, and like a lot of people wonder why. They're like, hey, why do some people wear crosses at certain times and why do they not? And it's like, well, there is virtue signaling, and virtue signaling is a double-sided sword, because you have to be very careful with what you think virtue is, because if somebody walks around with it out all the time and seems to be flaunting it, you're going to wonder, are they wearing it for external gratification, or are they wearing it for internal protection, like it's meant to be for? And so when I have it out, the only time I would have it out is like to be honest, like because people are so stuffy around symbolism, they don't realize it's subjective. Spirituality is subjective, so we need to not like go on about all of this. All I'm saying is I would bring this out. The only time I would bring this out is like in the movies in the war times, when you see they're all standing in battle, right? And they got the cross sitting out and they're like, I'm standing this ground because this is a holy war, and you guys finally made it to the point where you're threatening blood on me. And so that's why I put it away, right? It's just there for a symbolism, and that's why it symbolizes for me. People think about like stones and chakras and symbolism and all that stuff like woo craziness, yeah? Well, I've seen people dancing before, and I know they hear music, but I don't hear it. And like, I have a warm stone that centers me. Well, if it centers me, then why are you worried about me using a stone to center me in my heart? Right? So like, you live your lives, everyone lives their lives, and everyone can live their own lives, but we're all together. Unity, this is what Rastafari is about. We are one, connected by a single tether. It's quantum physics, even at this point, is a theory, but there's so much evidence towards it that it's like, if you deny it, it's like, that's when I can't dance to your music. But like, I think about like divine symbols again, and we need to have the divine with us. Like, my wife pointed this out, and look at what that flower it represents, right? I'll keep you under my wing, right? So that represents the divine feminine and the divine masculine in Trinity form. And Trinity form means the perfect balance for each situation. I think about like the conquering lion of Judah, and that's another archetypal divine masculine, divine feminine come together as one, knowing when to be Buddha and knowing when to be Christ, right? Knowing when you can't win the war, and so you wait, because how long shall we sit by and watch them kill all our prophets, is what Bob Marley put in his album. I believe that was inspired by Marcus Garvey. But then people do have to know is when you follow an oath of truth, which I credit Jordan Peterson for leading me to. I mean, I was on it my whole life. I didn't know it, but I mean, my truth was so subjective, so I wanted to make it more objective. and now that I'm realizing how objective everything is, I realize there's nothing that is subjective besides spirituality. It's on a pendulum, right? It only lacks subjectivity. So this song is this video is actually inspired because I said in my other video that I was going to be breaking down songs from this album, and this is this right here is again the conquering lion of Judah, and this is the dragon on a leash, right? And then there's the divine feminine that knows they have to fight the war because it makes sure that it keeps food on the table and feeds the community. So this song is about, really, is symbolism too. So I'm starting with the song number 4, which symbolizes like 4 bloodlines coming together as one. And that's 6, we're all the same, and that's what unites us with this earth that we're sitting on, and that's 6 neutrons, 6 electrons, and 6 protons. And that's black carbon. And Rastafari, because their fight did seem to be from the white race attacking them, but they didn't realize it wasn't the white race, it was the Dark Father manipulating people. And so Mussolini chased off Haile Selassie, who is the last Lion of Judah. As far, I mean, no, there's last like Lion of Judah for Rastafari, but every man that stands up to tyranny or injustice is stepping into their hero's journey, which is living through the incarnation of the conquering Lion of Judah. So I'm gonna put some. In all my videos, I haven't said this yet, but in all my videos, I've been putting things down in the description. So I go through the video after, and because I'm kind of doing this free ball. So I want to go through after and put a bunch of stuff in the description so people can look at the stuff themselves. Remember, my beliefs don't resonate with you, then unsubscribe to my channel. And to be honest, these videos are for me mostly. And those who like them, I'm very happy, and I will be setting up. I'm not so good with all this Patreon and stuff. I'm trying to figure out which companies to work with and all of that. But if you feel like supporting my channel and also our intuitive health center that we're opening up on Baker Street in Nelson, BC, please contribute. I'll have it set up as soon as possible, but so bear with me. And yeah, the Intuitive Health Center is just going to be literally, we're just there for psychological, spiritual, and nutrition guidance for ourselves, what we've done for ourselves. We're not doing everyone that comes in the door knows it's a community, and we're just family talking to each other about what helped ourselves. So that's intuitive health. Teaching is the same, like it happens at the same time as learning, and the best teachers know that. So that's what the Logos is locking into a rhythm and going with it. And so that's not everything's going to come out perfect, so people have to bear with the creators of the videos and create the people that do riff. And if people don't understand, because it does move quickly, just ask questions. And I will have my email in the description also, so people can email me questions. I like having a conversation, so this is opening up a conversation. I'd love to hear what anybody else has to think about this. And yeah, thanks, Beka. Thanks for all the people that have brought this moment in time to fruition.